What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your Sunday social with me, myself, and Mr. Sam McCabe. We're going to discuss last night's game against Arsenal. We're going to discuss Hojlund and Yoro's injuries. How serious are they? The latest on Wan-Bissaka, and we've also had a little bit of news just come out recently about more updates to people up top, with Dan Ashworth kind of picking some apples there. So we'll get into that towards the end. But the main bit of this show is going to be the game last night, because of course it was on at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I imagine the majority of people either didn't watch it or fell asleep at half time or didn't really get a full proper look at the game and had time to analyse it, etc. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick the parts of that, pick the bones of that, should I say, and then we'll get into the kind of the more intricate stuff with the injuries and things like that. Sam, what did you make of the game? You've had a chance now to watch it, I take it.
Yeah, so there's good stuff in there. I think the Hojlund goal was really good. Well taken, strong, like good shot to get through the thing. I thought Collyer was impressive. I thought Harry Amass was really impressive. We can get into them as well. I thought they were really good. Injuries, we'll touch on them. Obviously, really disappointing, right? Really annoying. And then just a weird thing with Onana with the penalties. People losing their mind about it, but I'm here for it. I like the shit out of it.
I missed the penalties, so I've actually not seen that.
Oh,
what happened?
He's just basically like, there was one, like he was talking a lot to like Matt Gabriel, and he was a few other.
Oh,
was
doing a bit of Martinez.
Yeah, and then he was like stood in the goal, and he was going, go right, and he was pointing at the right side and stepping to the side and like go there, and then they ended up going the other way and stuff like so. Yeah, but apparently, is it Martinelli or Gabriel? One of the two basically told him to shut the fuck up, stop talking, and everybody online's going unprofessional from Onana, bro. I'm just like, fuck off.
Come on,
give it a rest.
Also, it's pre-season, like
chill out.
A bit of entertainment. You know, I did see when he got pressed off an Arsenal player and he just kind of like fucking shimmied right near the goal line.
That was good.
And I was like, if that was an actual game, my heart would have fucking jumped out of my skin. But yeah, at least it's competitive and friendly. I think the first two games against Rosenborg and Rangers were a little bit damp, a little bit like, ugh. This one, they started off really well. I thought the pressing was good. I thought it was very competitive. I thought the tempo on the ball. There was a move, we didn't finish it off actually, but it was like Rashford, Amass, Collyer, onto Mount, out to Ahmad. Ahmad cuts in and his shot gets blocked. But you can see patterns there, and you can see that's more of what you want to see kind of in pre-season, like a cohesion. But what individuals away from the team stood out for you in particular, Sam?
Toby Collyer, he looks ready. Like he looks ready to go. Good. He looks like he's physically there as well. Like looks physically ready for men's football. I don't think he's going to be the Kobe Mainu where he breaks in and then he just sticks in the first team. I think he's going to get 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, maybe start in the Carabao Cup or something like that. I think that's what he's going to be. But I think he's going to be in and around the first team. Some really tidy passes, keeps it nice and simple, doesn't overthink anything. Again, this seems to be a trend with all our young players. They seem to be really calm when they play.
Technically proficient, aren't they?
Don't seem to lose their heads, don't seem to be worrying. They just seem to be like, ball, bang, next pass. And they seem to be doesn't seem overawed by playing against like guys who have got twice his experience and physicality and stuff. Seems fine. So I think he's good. I think he's a good prospect to see what he can do this season. Harry Amass looked excellent. I thought some link-up play. He played really well. There was that sequence you mentioned. I thought he was excellent with his passing, going forward. Really, he's definitely a Luke Shaw regen, isn't he? Like, he plays exactly like Luke Shaw, which I really like. The only thing I think he might be missing a bit of physicality. He needs to put a bit of size on. He needs to grow into his frame a little bit. So maybe he's not quite ready. Maybe he's in and around the squad and he gets minutes here and there and everywhere, but I don't think he's quite physically ready yet. But you never know and stuff like that. So those were the two that stood out to me. I thought they were both really excellent. And I hope going forward they get the sort of minutes and time in the team in the season.
I even thought senior players, I thought Rashford and Mount looked really good, like sharp. And on it, you could tell Rashford didn't go to the Euros, let's put it that way, because he looks on it. He looks fit, sharp. A lot of people praising the way he's been in training. Obviously, all the channels that have gone over there and they're watching him, and even like Laurie Whitwell's mentioned it and stuff. So they look good, but of course, with United, it's never an easy day, is it? There's always something that happens, and obviously Rasmus takes his goal really, really well. I'm not sure what specific minute it is, but he picks up an injury, which seems like from a pattern of play. Yeah, he was kind of stretching for the ball. It was like his right back leg. There was some suggestions. In which case, if it is a hamstring, that's usually a couple of weeks, which would then set him back, Sam, for the season, which is not what you want in it, especially when you've got Xerxes to integrate into the team as well.
Yeah, it's disappointing, man. Hamstrings are a tricky thing because you have to be really careful with them. Like, having done my hamstring a few times, if you pull it and then you go back too early, you can actually tear it, and then you're out for months. I don't know if people in the chat are old enough to remember, but Ryan Giggs was one of the quickest people I've ever seen on the pitch. He did his hamstring and he was never the same, like quickness wise. He was still able to become a fantastic player afterwards. Like, he went into central midfield and sort of changed his game a bit, but his quickness went as soon as he tore his hamstring in two. So you have to be really careful with hamstrings. So I'm hoping it's just a strain or it's just a pull, and it's like, right, cool, just relax it for a couple of weeks and we'll monitor it and stuff like that. Yoro, that one worries me. That worries me a lot.
Let me dampen your worries, because I've been doing a bit of digging on this morning. So actually, it seems it's the other way around now. So Hojlund's could be a good few weeks, and Yoro's apparently it was more impact and precautionary, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Thank God.
But yeah, because that's the last thing. A new signing, 50 million through the door, 18-year-old kid, and he gets injured.
And a centre back as well. Like, we haven't had enough centre back injuries.
Exactly. Yeah. But I thought the surface last night, there was a couple of question marks around that as well, that was playing, whether it was like fake AstroTurf or whether it was real grass, or there was like background. I still don't know. There was a debate, what it is.
There? Like, the announcer apparently said it's real grass, but then the commentators were going, no, it's AstroTurf. So I don't know. I don't know what.
You can tell why. Ten Hag always does that check, doesn't he? When he walks out onto the pitch and he's like proper, like, you can tell why, because the way their ankles were twisting, quite a few of them. I saw Mount go down a couple of times, and I'm just like, I'm watching that, thinking, oh god. Ahmad went down as well after the sequence. You had Hojlund, Yoro, and I'm like, I'm pointing at the screen. I'm like, get to fuck. If he gets injured now, I'm done with this season already. Like, we're halfway in. We've just started our fucking American tour, and this shit's happening.
It just sort of re-emphasizes, though, the fact that in this transfer market, we need to go and get squad depth, because we are hanging on by a string if we get a few players injured, as we saw last season and how bad it was. I don't think we've improved the squad as much as we should have done at this point. I think Xerxes is a good addition. I think Yoro's a good addition. But apart from that, we've lost Varane. We've lost Willy Kambwala. So
Martial's gone.
Martial's gone, but whether that be, I don't, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Mason Greenwood has gone. And you're looking like possibly Wan-Bissaka's on his way out the door as well. So it's just like, have we improved? If anything, we've gone down a bit, I think. So I think we need to invest in squad depth. And I know Toby Colliers might step up and Harry Amass might step up, which is great. But we need depth in that midfield. We need depth at full-back position.
And experience.
And experience as well. Yeah, like it's we need to sort that out. Like, I know we've still got transfer window left and there's a few weeks and stuff like that, but we need to get moving, get those Dilip deal moving, get the Awate deal moving, get whoever the fullback who's coming in moving. We need to get that sorted, because I just think squad depth wise we're still lacking quite a bit if these injuries are like going to continue.
Now, this may not come as a surprise to a lot of people who are watching currently right now, but we don't tend to agree with a lot of stuff that Samuel Lucker says, right? No. He usually spouts negative shit. However, I did think, and this is probably the only times, Lucker, if you're watching, clip it, he made an actual decent point. So he put after... Well, you be the judge of it. So, amid all the coaching changes, Manchester United still have the same fitness coach who was promoted by Solskjaer in 2019. United promised to make the squad fitter than ever that summer. By the end of August, Martial, Shaw and Pogba had got injured as well. So it's something that we certainly need to keep an eye on. But like we said, Sam, it's the last thing you want is to go into the season with like a cluster of injuries in it.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. Like, if we're gonna end up with How many do we have? Is it 64 separate injuries? I think last season.
Something.
If we're gonna get anywhere close to that, then just write the season off because it's gonna be the same shit, and we're not gonna be able to implement anything. And then Ten Hag probably gonna lose his job because the players will buckle, and we won't have enough squad depth and stuff like that. And Ineos can do all they want, but if you've got that many injuries, there's nothing else you can do. You can't just go out and buy 20 other players just in case the 20 odd players you've got get injured. So yeah, it's worrying, but I just hope that it's a small bump in the road and not an absolute cluster coming forward.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Right, let's go to the comments then. Let's see what you lot are saying. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for joining us. McMillan says Mason Mount going to be very important this season. Can't wait for that lad to prove the haters what a fantastic footballer he is. Absolutely. Brian saying even though it's only pre-season, disappointed with that result, but even more disappointed that Rasmus and Yoro went off injured. Hopefully nothing serious and just precautionary. So many comments. Until Steph saying until Leitra and Mainu available and playing, can't judge much being saved for Community Shield with unveiling of Xerxes. Yeah, God knows what the team's going to be. That just makes me think who's going to be in that starting lineup when we play City in the Community Shield. Couldn't even predict it right now. Genuinely. No.
You just got to hope that Bruno, because obviously he's yet to come back. Copy Mainu's yet to come back. Shaw's yet to come back. Xerxes, Gallo. So there's 5-6 players who would probably start, you would say. So hopefully when they come back in, we look a bit better and there's a bit more depth in there. But the fact that, like we said, Yoro injury possibility and then your new number 9 is also a thing. And then we're back again, back to one striker.
Yeah. Well, he's not even in yet, the striker, is there?
That's what I mean.
Well, you've got Wheatley, you could play there, but it's like when Hannibal came on, I was like, right,
I don't think Wheatley's ready. Yeah, I like him. I think he's got a few attributes that I really enjoy, but I just don't think he's ready to be our backup number 9. I just don't.
Yeah. Dan Fenton saying, hi lads, hopefully Yoro and Hojlund injuries aren't too bad. I remember Giggs doing his hamstring, still did great, but do remember that. Yeah. Yoro had a foot injury already apparently when we bought him. Oh, I've not read that. I've not seen that anywhere personally. McMillan.
Did we just buy injured players? Hojlund had one when we bought him and stuff like that.
Amrabat had something dodgy with him as well, didn't he?
Can we just stop this?
Lindelof gone tomorrow. Everton signed Jake O'Brien and we can get Brandthwaite as a bit of discount. Sorry to put the thing to bed, but I think Everton was signing that Jake O'Brien anyway. Yeah. I don't think it has much significance on the Brighton. I'd like to believe it does, but I don't think I will go on record saying I don't think we signed Brandthwaite this summer. I'd be astonished if we did.
I'd say 99.9% we don't sign him.
Yeah, yeah, I just don't see it happening. Would you have sold Lindelof and kept Cambuala? That's an interesting question from Steph. Sam?
I thought Cambuala had some good sort of attributes and stuff. I definitely would have sold Lindelof. I would have sold Lindelof and Maguire. That's who I would have sold. And then, probably kept Cambuala, brought in Delict, brought in Yoro, and then you've got Leacher, and then Johnny Evans.
Evans as backup as well.
I think that's not bad. I think that's all right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Dan saying we need to get another centre-back in a centre defensive mid, and I'd get another striker, someone like Tony from Brentford. Well, we keep getting linked with them players, don't we? Calvert-Lewin, Tony. I can't remember who the other one was, but this is Laurie Whitwell who's putting that out.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Talk of the Devils and he was saying, listen, if they make enough sales, if a big player goes like Sancho or someone like that, they will end up going to get him. And it's never made sense to me personally. I mean, me and Sam have discussed it at length. Like, it's a bit, if you bring Tony in, he's going to be your starting striker. Yeah. So it's a big call to make in that regard, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of August. Hannibal has not progressed. No. Been saying it for ages. Brian Casey, what's the jersey, Nick? So this is Juventus. Oh, I'm pulling my mic away there. Sam got it made for my birthday, so it's Juventus 2008, is it, I think?
Yeah.
2008. So, yeah, obviously got to rep the jersey on the retro jersey, should I say, on the weekend. Irfan Kadali says, RB Salzburg centre-back Pavlovic, 25 million, the new Vidic, apparently. Interesting, very interesting.
Is he the one who was supposed to go to the Euros with Germany? Is he German?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he was a midfielder, though.
Is he a midfielder? Maybe he's
I thought, look,
maybe he's
I don't know, but Yeah, I'm not sure. Right, let's discuss Wan-Bissaka then, because that's the one that's on the news ticker. We've had a couple of updates on this. West Ham are in talks with United over the move now, with their deal for Mazzari breaking down. The Hammers are keen to negotiate on United's valuation, which is understood to be in excess of £15 million. Pounds. Now, this obviously has a knock-on effect on the other deals that we're doing, and Sky also report that the Mazzari and De Ligt deals are advancing. Just on Wan-Bissaka, Sam, what would your assessment of his time at United be? How would you reflect on it?
A lot of promise, and then not sort of capitalizing and not developing the other side of his game. Because obviously, looking at the amount of who did he come in under? Was it Jose? Was it
No, Ole.
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 Yeah. So we've had how many, like 3 managers under him, and it's so his development's been stunted. Obviously, Dallow's come in and took his spot as well. So it's just been it's been a lot of sort of promise. I think defensively, one-on-one, he's probably the best right back in Europe. Defensively, one-on-one, I don't think anybody beats him. I think some of the stuff he's done for us has been phenomenal, like shutting down Sterling multiple times, Salah, Doku, whoever it is. Like he's managed to do jobs on them. I think going forward, he has improved, but not to the point where you would like he's complete fullback, where you can do both sides of it. I would keep him personally. I would try and do another option for a year and keep him, because I just don't think it's a priority position. But clearly, he wants first team football, and he knows that Dallow's going to start over him 9 times out of 10, and he's in the last year of his deal. So we either sell him now or he goes for free next season if he's not going to sign a new deal. So I understand this thing. I just think it's a weird thing we're doing with a right back. I don't understand it at all.
I don't blame Wan-Bissaka in particular either, because if you've got an offer from, do you want to go live in Italy, authentic Italian food, nice, lovely weather, chance of winning the league, playing in the Champions League, or do you want to go down south to West Ham, scrap maybe a few Europa Conference if you can get into it, new coach there. Oh, well, you got Lopetegui there, haven't you?
Yeah.
So not a bad kind of project to work under.
He's probably gonna start most games at West Ham as well. Like he's probably
I'd
gonna
imagine.
be a starter. So
yeah. But I understand Wan-Bissaka's position why he would do that, and that's why sometimes deals are so hard to do, because you've got to get the agent on board, you've got to get the player on board, you've got to get the clubs on board.
Wages.
Yeah, it is difficult. Exactly. Yeah, the wages. I mean, I don't know what he's on at United, but I'd imagine he's on a good £100,000 a week at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, that we'll keep an eye on that one, of course. Make sure you turn on the notification bell if anything does if anything does break around transfers. Of course, we'll go live as always, and make sure you smash the like on the video for us as well if you can. That's okay. Thought it was Newcastle. No, come on, Brian. I never. You should know me by now. I will never ever wear a Newcastle shirt or another Premier League shirt for that matter. Ever.
I'd never wear another English team shirt ever.
That should be the rule, should it? Yeah. Never. I mean, I've had mates who had like Chelsea kits and shit when they were, and I was like,
no.
And they're like diehard United, like, and any time I bring it up, he says, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, mate, there's a picture of you. Do you remember the Samsung Chelsea shirt from like fucking, I don't know, it was like 2010? I had one of them. I was like, no, you can't be doing that. Fake Me says, lads, would you prefer Xerxes or Hojlund for striker position? Do you want to take that, Sam, or do you want me to take that?
It depends. We could do both. I think it depends on the team you're playing and the system you want to set up. I think they both offer different options. Obviously, Xerxes is more of a link-up guy, and he can drop deep, and he can play with more direct wingers. So, say you're playing Garnacho and Rashford, you put Xerxes in there. I think that works a little better. But say you're playing with a more sort of touch-tight sort of thing with wingers who like to cross or like to put balls in, say an Ahmad or a Sancho. You put Hojlund in there, who's going to make those runs in behind, and they'll get the ball to him and stuff like that. So I think it just depends on the position, and I think that's why Ten Hag has bought him, so he's got options, so he can change things up as and when he needs to, rather than just going, this is the only striker we have, which what was the case last season, and this is how we're going to have to play. Now he's got options, which I think they'll both get a good amount of games. I don't think anyone is going to be, and also Xerxes is quite versatile, and he can play across that front line, so you might be able to play them together.
Yeah. What's happened to the days of like pure number 9s, like top talented ones in the league? Because I look at the league at the minute. I mean, back in the day, even United had 4 fucking world class strikers, all competing. Even back in the day, like you're talking like fucking Oh, I know Henry weren't necessarily an out-and-out one, but he'd bag a lot of goals for Arsenal. You had like fucking Cantona, Shearer, all these like top strikers, Ian Wright, fucking Andy Cole.
We had
And
4.
now you look at it,
We had Dwight
yeah,
York, Andy Cole, Ole Gunnar
yeah,
Solskjaer, and Sheringham.
yeah.
4 of them.
But I'm saying like you look at the league now. Let's go. I don't know, random team. Let's go Spurs. Who's their number 9? Richarlison.
Son,
Like
innit?
Son plays
Yeah.
there predominantly, but again, he's not an out-and-out number 9. Arsenal. Have they got a prolific number 9?
No,
Nope.
it's Kai Havertz.
Jesus, Nketiah, fucking Kai Havertz. Nope, not there. Chelsea. Who's their prolific number 9?
Nicola Jackson, I'd say.
Yeah, is he prolific? Is he
No.
like scream out there? So you're looking around, you're like Haaland's the only out and out 9 really in the league who's like, you know, well, Ollie Watkins again you could argue,
Yeah.
but even he's not like I won't say a pure striker. So it's weird, isn't it, the landscape of that? Like it's changing quite a lot. So in relation to that, the reason why I mention it is because I look at someone like Xerxes, he's not an out and out number 9. But like Sam mentioned, you can have so many different tactical setups with him coming in. He's actually might be more of an important signing than people realise, in my opinion. I think him and Hojlund could play together. Or you could play off him as like a 10. You could put him over on the wing. Is that capable? Yeah, I think it's interesting. And I just wish he was on pre-season at the minute because I want to see some of him. And I don't know if he's going to join up with us or not.
Well, there was this thing I saw. I don't. Was it Romano or somebody? But apparently, there's certain players may join the tour. It depends on their fitness and stuff like that coming back. So it could be an option. I would not expect to see any of those guys who went far in the tournament until like just before the Community Shield. They'd probably see him back the week before that. So yeah, I don't think we'll see any, unfortunately.
Yeah. Just the last bit of news coming in whilst we was live, basically, saying Dan Ashworth is poised to appoint former Championship manager Michael Appleton to the transfer team with responsibility for loans. I didn't even realise he individualised that. I thought it was just the same geezer who did the deal. So, like, we had, is it Matt Hargreaves who's like chief negotiator?
Yeah.
I thought he just did everything. I didn't realise the specifics. And...
Maybe they're trying to diversify it just so whoever's in charge of like pure buying things can just concentrate on that. You don't have to worry about loans, and they take that responsibility off them, and another guy can just do loans. Maybe they're just trying to diversify it a little bit.
Yeah. McMillan's saying, Sam, would you wear a Salford shirt or something like that?
Salford's an interesting one because obviously it's the town we were born in and the town we're from. So, and obviously it's ran by class of '92 and stuff like that. So that'd be an interesting one. I think had they come up, if they come up to the Premier League, probably not, because Man
that's
United,
where it gets dicey, isn't it?
Man United are a team I was born into and I will always support. So yeah, unless United either folded or went away, or they stay down in another league, maybe. I got offered. I used to work with a client who sponsored Stockport County. That was their sponsor for the stuff like that, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna get a kit," and I was just like, I don't really want one. Like, it'd feel weird. It'd feel weird. But yeah, I don't know.
I would love a situation if it does happen where if Salford did play United at Old Trafford, or if United played Salford at their ground as well, because that's like the perfect blend for us. It's a bit of both. It's like heritage for us in a sense. Yeah, I'd wear a Salford kit. Kit. I'd go to a Salford game actually. I've been offered a couple of times. I haven't been, but I need to go down to the ground.
I've been to a couple. I've been to some. Do you know when they played at the stadium near you? The rugby stadium. They've played there a couple of times. I've been watched them there. So yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd go watch Salford.
Well, let's face it. If United wasn't about, if we didn't get born into it, because of course we lived like 5 minutes from the ground, we probably would have grown up supporting Salford. I'd imagine. Times were different. Dan Fenton saying we need to get more first team players in and get the Deadwood out, backroom staff sorted with Rude and that coming in. Stretford Baddock FC. Oh, we may end up supporting them as well, but we're quite far away from, not far away from Stretford, but
Droylsden, in it with
Droylsden.
They play.
Is that where they play?
I think that's where they play. And then I think, who's the other teams that we've got? We've got these Eccles, isn't there? But I think they're non-league.
Oh, I don't even know it.
Obviously, I live in Sale, and the Sale United, I think, is here. I think they're in like the northwest counties or north something like that. I'm not sure. You got Hyde United as well, or Hyde FC. They're around. You got Stockport County. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I don't think. I'm sure there's some other local teams as well. You got Altrincham as well, Stalybridge. They're all around here.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You can really go into it, deep into the fucking different specific teams. Part Whitton up the road from me. It was like, yeah,
Who I used to play for as well, Part Whitton. As a
yeah,
kid.
yeah. Likewise, Ecclestown FC, Part Whitton, in Hyde for this season. Ah, right, okay, interesting.
Paddock, Stratford Paddock.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody
40
got,
people. Go on.
Anybody got any questions? Last 3 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll jib off at 1 o'clock. So if anybody's got any questions, chuck them in.
Yeah, been a relatively quiet day, which is
Yeah.
unusual for United. In terms of news, it feels like it started off really hot, didn't it? In terms of like Xerxes, oh, we've got that deal done quick, and it's the thing at Yoro, like wow, how have we managed to do that? And then it kind of felt like the expectation was there now, and now it's slowly coming down, and we're like, okay, let's get it up again. Let's go get Delit, and let's get a couple of us. Like Dan Fenton's literally just said there, do you guys think we'll get Delit and Iwate deals done? What's your thoughts on them two specific ones, Sam?
I think Iwate. Have they sorted the João Neves thing? Is that done now? Is that wrapped up?
It's not here we go, but it's imminent from what I've seen.
I think once that gets done, you'll probably see a bit of movement on there because then they'll have got their person in. Delit apparently it's ongoing because he's got the same agent as Mazraoui, so that could depend. I think if Wan-Bissaka goes, then you might see those two deals like sort of expedite. I think it's like I'd say 80-20 on Iwate and I'd say 70-30 on Delit. What about you?
Iwate, do you know what? I was listening to a transfer expert yesterday speak because I've watched Iwate, but I've not seen a lot of him. And he was actually saying he thinks Fofana would be a much better partner for Kobbie Mainoo than Iwate would. He said Iwate done fantastically well at Sporting, came over to France, did well for PSG in the first year, but then they stopped trusting him in the big games in the second year, and he struggled to adapt a little bit.
Is it Vitinha? Did they put Vitinha in?
Yeah, so Vitinha's class in it. Like, saw him in the Euro, that top player. So it's some initial concerns just listening to that and thinking Fofana, getting for half the price. So whether they're actually deciding on that now or they're thinking, should we pay what PSG want for him or should we maybe pivot? That's why I'm a little bit and ahhing with that deal in particular. But Delit, I think Delit should have been done, to be honest. But maybe they're waiting on an outgoing like a Lindelof because he's been linked with a return with Jose Mourinho. Maybe there's something in that. But we are hearing sell to buy at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think if you start seeing like Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka and then obviously João Neves, I think you might see a bit of movement on those things. But yeah, who's your ideal signing to come next if it was your choice? That's from Brian.
It depends if we're talking like if there's no limits. And you can just get whoever, that's a different conversation. If you're speaking realistic, I would have even liked the deal like what Bayern done with Paulinho for like 40 million. And when you talk about a pure individual six, I would have loved a deal like that. I think we need a world-class defensive midfielder.
It's not many though, is it?
There's not many, yeah, that's the issue. There's not many. But if we can find someone, even if you have to pay a decent amount, that's who I'd like, and I think we need. But I don't know.
I think midfielders, like, get me 2 midfielders in, whether that's Iwate or Fofana, Amrabat, Rabiot, just get some midfielders in because I don't know why we're neglecting this still. This is like, do you remember the right wing issue where we didn't buy a right winger for fucking ages?
Yeah.
And it was like last
and then we did buy one, and then it was like, I won't play on the left.
Yeah. So it's like it's another season, and we're talking about midfield options because we haven't got any, and it's frustrating. So I think we need to sort that particularly first, and then obviously full back, left back, they'd be the two I'll be looking at in a minute. But left back's gone quiet, hasn't it? There hasn't really been any noise on it, which is weird. But
they're all in America, aren't they?
Yeah. Shakes Delgado, though, I like that name. How long will Hojlund and Yoro be out? We don't know yet. They've not said. They said it's an ankle sprain for Yoro, so that could be a week or so. It shouldn't be too bad, but the Hojlund thing could be a couple of weeks. So
yeah. Love the chocolate mug, Sam. Always makes me smile. There you go. It's becoming famous, that mug, isn't it?
It's quite. I like the handle. That's what I like. It's got a massive handle. I don't like these cups. You know where you have to like put your finger in and you can't quite.
Yeah, and you're like
properly.
your knuckles
Yeah,
fucking
like,
digging into it.
It's fucking.
Yeah, I get that.
That's like a Stein handle, which I like. I'm down with that. That's mainly why I
That
got it.
that looks like it's been created in Wonka's factory, and you could just
does,
bite. Like it really looks like. Are you sure you can't bite that? Because it really does look like.
Can you hear this on the microphone?
Oh yeah, you definitely can't bite. Please don't do that because you might snap a tooth off live.
Brian, it looks like it's gonna fall apart any minute. Yeah, we'll just keep like the tension on. We'll just hold it and then we'll start pouring hot water into it and just get people.
Yeah, maybe these mugs should sponsor us. We're doing more ad for them than fucking. Is it a certain thing? The Flintstone chocolate mug.
Afari of Sweden. If you want to sponsor us, feel free.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure Sam will take as many mugs off you as he can. Right, guys, we are going to leave it. You can tell it's a fucking dry day on news when we're talking about chocolate mugs, can't you? Jesus Christ. We're going to leave it at that. Obviously, if we have a few bits break today, we'll go back live at 7 o'clock. Or I'll go back live at 7 o'clock. So I think Sam's doing something later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anything breaks, we'll see what happens. But it seems like a very slow, quiet news day. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the game last night. Maybe you watched UFC as well and you enjoyed that. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the weather. It's nice outside if you live in England. So yeah, go enjoy that. And me and Sam will see you guys shortly.
Follow all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. The latest news, latest little funny things, whatever you want to see, please do go follow those. If you want to be a member as well, it's £3 a month and you get exclusive content. We need to film some of that actually this week, don't we?
Absolutely.
So please do go check that out. And then, yeah, thank you to everybody who showed up in the chat as well. The regulars, Stephanie, Brian, Dan, Macmillan. I don't want to forget anybody. Let me look.
Even the new guys, thank you.
Yeah, new people as well. If you're new to the channel, appreciate you. But yeah.
No, Richard today. Have we seen Richard?
Where's Richard? Where's Shah Sam? Where's
yeah, a couple people missing.
Yeah.
Hopefully Richard's watching this later. So if you are, big up Richard, legend.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. See you in a bit.